Good afternoon, all. Camelback Trading at all coming to you this Friday afternoon, February 4th. We are looking at Window Trader's market profile of SPY, IWM, and triple Qs, and should have a lot of fun recapping all of this. Been a pretty interesting start to this month and very interesting start to the year. I will be recapping all of these indices on the charts. I mean, you think about just what transpired last night at 24 hours ago. Triple Qs and SPY ripped up. Then this morning we were down at our lows. Then we come back and take back everything from last night's overnight. And then in the last half hour, give back the trend day, at least in SPY and ES. Russell held theirs. They go out with a double distribution day. Triple Qs held theirs as they got into them, but they held it. So believe it or not, we have an $8.95 range in SPY. And all we have is the high and the low of the day. I thought for sure with this kind of rally, we would take out yesterday's high and fill that very small gap that we left from yesterday. I wasn't sure if we would have an outside day up. I didn't think we would, but for sure I thought we would get that level. We saw the market very well, not only today, but all week. Had a very good day to finish out the week. Did a lot of trading today, a period. I took a short against yesterday's low a couple of times, the 447 puts. When we came below it, I would take them off because we weren't getting a lot of traction. We got above it, I put some small back on. That's all I did. I didn't do anything in B. B threw us a head fake as we one time framed up right away. And then in C period, I took a long. The fact that A went down didn't do much. B, now C almost got to the single prints from back on January 31st, but they couldn't get it, so I faded it. I took the 443 calls twice. D period, same thing. We dipped into the single prints a little bit, came right back out, faded it, 443 calls, but I did take a short when we went up against the opening, 448 puts, because I didn't think we would stop the one-time framing down right away. So I took a short against that. We knew a lot of different things happened today to give us little nuances. Even though we were making new lows, there was a lot of visual areas right below today's low. We had the rest of the single prints. We had this overnight low. We had the 200-day moving average. And we had the lowest accepted price from back on January 31st. So there was a lot of buying power down there, for lack of a better word. So I thought if it got down to that level, without going trend to the downside, we would absolutely get at least a bounce the first time. Now, we never really got there, but you could sense the sellers, they didn't have it in them. Then things changed. In E period, took a long, right when I thought it would stop one-time framing down. I innovated, took the 443 calls. I did okay on it, but didn't maximize it because we popped it, went up a little bit, took most off. I was trying to see if we can get higher. At the time, it was half back. I forgot what it was at that point. Or maybe it was value high. No, it couldn't have been. But we never got to where I was looking, and I took it off, and then it went back up. Now, change for sure took place in H. We took it back in M, but for sure, H opened up very, very strong. So when it went up, I didn't chase, but on a pullback, I bought the 448 calls. I did take a quick short in I against yesterday's afternoon rally high. I thought there would be some firecrackers above there. There wasn't, so I took a short of the 453s. And then I looked for longs. I longed J once, 448. Where I should have longed J was here. Even though we stopped the one-time framing up, we held the single prints. I thought H's low was incredibly important, so that was a great risk-reward trade. I did not take it, and you saw what happened as we just went higher in J, K, and L. I did take a long in L against K singles, the 450s one time. That paid for me. And then in M, when we filled K singles I'm sorry, yeah, L and K's. I took a small long. Wasn't really much happening. I'm like, we got to get back into L, because at that point, I'm like, if we're going to go do what I said, and that's take out yesterday's high and get the gap, we got to get back into L's range. It got back into it, didn't do much, took them off, made small on them, and a good thing I did, because then M just wiped out. Look at this. This was 3.5 hours. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 2.5, almost 3 hours worth of longs. They just took to the wood, just wiped out. So whoever didn't get out, and they had chances to get out, we filled the trend day. So it was a good day and a good week overall. As far as destinations, upside, 452.78. That's today's high. Then we have yesterday's high of 452.97 and filling that small 8-point gap at 453.05. Then we don't have anything to that day's high of 458.12, which is a weekly high. For the downside, we don't have anything to today's low, 443.83. Then you have the single prints, 443.82 to 36 from January 31st. 443.28, lowest accepted price from the 31st, and 439.81, weekly low. Now, let's get to the charts. And let's see, let's have some fun breaking down all these indices, what's going on here. Been a pretty wild first 5 weeks of the trading year. Let's start with Mr. Russell. Russell's still having some big issues, right? Basically came out of a 10-month balance to the downside. Now, 4 days into the month, they've held last month's low, but pure, plain and simple, the monthly is down in the Russell. Weekly. Did we take out last week's high? I think we might have. We did. So believe it or not, the weekly, which was down, has now come into balance. So since we sold off from the weekly high, I will call this a 2-week balance. You'll use this week's high as the high, last week's low as the low. So balance on the weekly. And the daily is down. The daily was up, came into balance yesterday, now it's down. So the monthly is down, the weekly is balance, the daily is down, and they're below all three of their 20, 50, and 200. Still big issues for Russell. Let's go to triple Qs. Monthly, down, right? We just started this month. Right now the monthly's down. In fact, we're one-time framing down 2 months. Weekly, balance, 3-week balance, right? You'll use 3 weeks ago's high of 376.22 as the high of it. You use last week's low as the low of it. So it's a pretty big balance. So monthly down, weekly balance. Daily. Now, the daily to me is down. Yesterday came into balance, right? Even though there was a gap, right? Markets don't go bull bear. So we went bull, balance yesterday. Now, since we took out yesterday's low, I'm calling the daily down. So if we come out of it to the downside, it's still down. If we take out this high, this gap is still fairly big. So if we take that out, all we're doing is really coming into balance. The 20 is crossed over to 200. We're below all three of those things. Now, some people will call this balance. Again, it's subjective. You can call it whatever you'd like. For now, I'm going to call it down. So monthly is down, weekly balance, daily down. Now let's go to SPY and ES. Monthly is down. Okay. We didn't have an outside month down, but we had an outside month up the last month, and then this month, and then this January, we took out all the November, December's lows. So we are down in the monthly. Weekly balance, just like Qs. 3-week balance. 459.96. We'll round it out. 460 is the top of the balance. We'll round it out. 421 is the bottom of the balance. That's a pretty big balance, my friends. It's a $39 balance for the last 3 weeks. And then the daily, again, just like Qs, I'm calling this down. We went bull, balance yesterday. We took out yesterday's low by almost $2. Yes, we got back pretty good inside of yesterday's range. If we had taken out yesterday's high, I would have called this balanced still, but we did not. So I'm calling the daily down. It's amazing. We tested the 200 today almost, and we certainly tested the 20. They're not that close together. They're $8 apart, and we almost got one, and we got the other one. So we're getting some fantastic moves. 117 million on the tape already with the after hours. We're averaging 123 million. So range and volume is continuing to give us traders very, very good opportunities. I hope you had a great day and a great week trading. And relax, rest up, enjoy your weekend. Thanks a lot. Truly mean it for the likes on these videos and subscribing to the channel. And hey, for $30, come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. See what we're all about. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.